Republican Majority Whip Tom Emmer endorsed Donald Trump for president yesterday, less than 4 months after Trump torpedoed Emmer's bid to become House Speaker. In a statement posted to X or Twitter, the number 3 House Republican wrote it was, quote, time to unite behind our party's clear frontrunner. Back in October, when the Minnesota congressman threw his hat in the ring to be the next House Speaker, Trump wrote on social media, quote, voting for a globalist rhino like Tom Emmer would be a tragic mistake. Trump's problem with Emmer was because he voted in 2020 to certify Joe Biden's election win, something none of the other current members of House Republican leadership did. Among them is Majority Leader Steve Scalise, who also endorsed Trump's 2024 campaign this week. Like he did with Emmer, Trump also derailed Scalise's speakership bid in October, suggesting Scalise was too sick to hold the position after being diagnosed with cancer months before. George Conway, I'll tell you what's sick. These guys will put up with anything. And unfortunately, it's the American voters, I think, who ultimately lose.
Yeah, I never cease to be amazed at how willing these people are to sacrifice their honor and their dignity to worship at this man to keep, a job. Don't these people have anything else to do with their lives? It's just crazy that you would, it's not worth being a member of Congress if you have to kowtow to a psychopath like this. But here we are, and that's essentially the state of the Republican Party, where people are afraid. Like DeSantis the other day, chastising a voter who said, "Why don't you go after Trump?" It's just shameless pandering to people who have been greatly misled.
Yeah, Jen Psaki, we've had this conversation with Joe on the show many times. At what point does personal pride enter the equation? How badly do you need the job? As Claire McCaskill has made the plea to some of these guys on camera, said, guys, it's not so bad out here. You can find other gainful employment. It's not worth it. But it seems to be, there's almost maybe nothing they wouldn't do for Donald Trump.
Willie, it's a big world out there. Yes. As George just said, there's a lot of different things these people can do. And as he also just said, they basically look pathetic. Yeah. They are embarrassed. Their dignity is is being questioned here for good reason. And they did, at a moment, they did the right thing. And then they showed they had no spine because they're so desperate to stay in Congress. Is it that great? This is it's sad and pathetic, and it's an addiction to Donald Trump by the core of the Republican Party, including people who at moments we have all applauded for standing up to it. Right. And they just couldn't stay firm. That's what's sad.
And this is the latest example of how we are just a couple of days away from the 3rd anniversary of the January 6th insurrection. And Donald Trump's more powerful now over the Republican Party than he was then. That he has an ironclad grip over the GOP. That yes, I know there's a little momentum for Nikki Haley, but most believe the Republican nomination process is over. That Donald Trump will be the nominee. These criminal indictments have not hurt him within his own party. The general election, that's a different story. But in terms of within the Republican Party, Trump is the dominant figure. And those few lonely voices, Mika, who had been standing up to him, they're all but gone at this point. Liz Cheney got routed in her primary last year. Mitt Romney in the Senate is on his way out. He's announced his retirement. Mitch McConnell is a diminished figure. There's just very, very few voices of any stature at all who dare stand up to Trump, including those who are trying to beat him for the GOP nomination.
And also, he's doing a town hall. Hey, we're days away from that, where a network is giving him, full range, it appears, unless he's actually questioned and held accountable. And we're a couple of days away from Iowa. This is incredible.